Alright, what's going on, you fam? Raiyuden here. So we got some information on the Red Goku Black Rose Zenkai Awakening. This one's kind of scattered in terms of where all the pieces are for his information, but I kind of collected them all so we can all just take a look. Right on the screen you're seeing his stats, which seem a little bit lower than usual for Zenkai Awakenings. I'm a little bit surprised. I honestly thought that his defenses would be in the 180s, strike attack and blast attack would be a little bit higher, but I'm not going to complain. I'm sure his kit makes up for it. But speaking of kit, for this guy, before we even look at the information, I really do think that this guy's kit needs a bit of a rework in order for him to be meta relevant, because the gap between modern units and when he came out in like 1987 is huge. All his buffs can be cancelled. I'm pretty sure he peaked out at like what, 45% damage inflicted, and the debuffs that he applied, the plus 10 3 times, every meta relevant unit basically ignores. So Rose, you're definitely gonna need some help, buddy. Fingers crossed you do get that. Let's go ahead and take a look. Courtesy of Renzi, thank you again for sharing this information. But right out the gate, his main ability, he draws his ultimate, restores own health by 20% and ki by 30, which is great, and he goes type neutral. I think the only thing that has changed here is the fact that he gains 30 ki now, which is okay, no issues with that. His first passive, apply the following effects to self based on your own remaining health when he shows up in the field. If he has 75% or more of his HP, he will show up on the field with restoring 20 ki, 30% damage inflicted with level 1 card draw speed, 15 timer counts. Okay, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it is only his first passive. Should your HP be below 75%, you will restore 30 ki, a 45% damage inflicted buff for 20 timer counts, as well as the level 1 card draw speed for 20 timer counts. Pretty good, I suppose. I'm not a big fan of conditional passives like this with the HP thing, especially because if you're really banking on that 10 ki difference, it may throw you off that you find out your calculation was wrong and in the end you don't get it. I don't know, could trip somebody up eventually. Next, passive number 2, inflict all enemies with the attribute downgrade plus 10% damage received from God Ki, future, or powerful opponent 3 times. Pretty sure this used to be just God Ki in future, so it's nice to see powerful opponent added to that. That's always great. But like I said before, a lot of the meta relevant units that you see nowadays pretty much dismiss these kinds of downgrades, which is what I was worried about. I really hope they're not banking on this being his main sort of damage dealer, because his stats are kind of low, and if a lot of units are going to be dismissing any sort of debuff that's coming from him, Rose is really not looking too good. He doesn't look like he's going to be doing that much damage. The following effects occur when this character evades an enemy attack with a vanish step. You will destroy one enemy card, and the next damage that you take will be reduced by 40%, cannot be stacked, applies until enemy combo is finished. I don't know, it's not the worst thing in the world. If you mess up your timing and your opponent vanishes after you vanish, I guess you can look forward to not taking as much damage. But then again, Rose's defensive stats aren't as high as traditional Zenkai Awakening, so it could be an issue. I don't really know. Now here's where the good stuff happens. Let's see, passive number 3. The following effects occur when this character switches to standby. Restore ally ki by 20. Inflict enemy with attribute downgrade plus 5 to all arts costs for 5 timer counts. Inflict enemy with attribute downgrade minus 50% to health recovery for 10. What is this? Is every unit just designed to counter Goku and Vegeta's healing? That everybody has this. Minus 50% to ki recovery, minus 75% to ki recovery. He's not the only unit in the game. I get it, but he's not the only person out there. Minus 50% to ki recovery with plus 5 to arts costs. I guess, I don't know, I guess it could sort of work. The idea being, you know, here, paint this scenario. You attack your enemy and they vanish, and then, or sorry, rather, they attack you, you vanish, you wait for your opponent to sidestep or something, but you mess up your timing. You're getting hit, you swap out to another unit. Now your opponent has minus 50% to health recovery, kill the card, and their cards now cost 5 more. Is that impactful? I don't really know. I don't think so. I don't think it'll be. Everybody has card draw speed. Everybody has super quick mains. Everybody has some ridiculous way to get key. So I don't really know how much of an impact this will have. But it's there. That's passive number 3. The ally key by 20 is going to be super useful, though. I think everybody can benefit from getting a little bit more key when they show up on the field. It would have been nice if Rose supported his team a little bit more. Even something small as 20% extra damage by your team. Why not? He can run pretty well with Future Gohan. Now you got 45% going everywhere. Passive number 4. Applies the fallen effects to self when the battle starts. 30% to strike damage inflicted, which cannot be cancelled, which is nice. Reduces damage received by 20%. I guess that is why he has the reduced defensive stats. And plus 40% to key recovery. Cannot be cancelled. So his 4th passive has the damage buff, the reduced damage received, the key recovery, all of which cannot be cancelled. But his main offensive passive is all timed. So you better hope Rose is not your last unit. Otherwise, he's going to get cooked because his damage passive as well as card draw speed. Well, card draw speed is normal, but the damage passive is only 20 timer counts at the most. I don't know, he's not really coming off as overly impressive. Both his stats seem lower than usual, and his passives don't seem that impressive. I could be wrong. This is all what we're reading in paper. But his team is pretty good. He still has Future Gohan to help him out in terms of support, disrupt. Still has the Sword of Hope Trunks, which will help him deal. Help him be a little bit more sustainable. So I don't know. I guess in actual fighting, it could be different. Now next, we also have some information about his upgraded blue, alt, and green, which is very important because they advertise that he now kills endurance, which is cool. Fingers crossed it has blast armor. I'm not even looking at the text right now, so let's see. Blue card. Deals massive explode. Great, he's got the massive multiplier. Restore own vanish gauge by 60 on hit. It looks like there is no limit, so constantly hitting your opponent with blue cards will be pretty nice for restoring vanish. But then again, this is a melee-based blue card, so that could be a little bit more complicated. Unlike, LF Goten, who restores 60% on activation. And then there's obviously the 100% chance to inflict strong bleed. I guess that complements the purple rose pretty good. This green card, plus 20% to strike damage inflicted for 20 timer counts, with a -5 to strike and blast arts cost for 15 timer counts. At least there's another way for him to get some additional damage. This can be stacked. I don't know. Guess you can make a green card team. His ultimate, massive impact. Upon activation, plus 50% to all damage inflicted. Pretty standard stuff. Nullify enemy, restore on health when it reaches 0 effect. So he nullifies endurance. It looks like he does not have blast armor on that ultimate, which can be a little bit tricky then. And his Zenkai ability. Does that say red powerful opponent? Rose doesn't even power up powerful opponent with his Z ability. Huh. I guess that's okay, just because powerful opponent is a more robust and diverse tag as opposed to just, future or god key. But his Z ability doesn't actually buff up powerful opponent. I don't think it existed at the time. Could be a bit weird, because now you're kind of, you're not really restricted to just god key or future based powerful opponent enemy allies, but I don't know, I think that's a bit strange. It's moments like these where it would make sense for Legends to update the Z abilities for these units. They updated this passive to include powerful opponent. Don't you think it would make more sense for him to do God Key, Future, and powerful opponent, strike, attack, and defense? If the tag exists now, I think it makes sense to update the Z ability as well. If you're going to do it for the passives and his Zenkai ability, there really is no reason for you not to just add it to his Z ability. You did it for the event exclusive units, you may as well do it for this too. Just makes the most sense. Outside of that, we are expecting this new summon. It is complete bait. Odds are you're going to pull UI Goku 5 times, so don't waste your time on this thing. Keep in mind, I don't know if you remember in the last video and stuff, but Toshi did hint. He said he has some quote-unquote fun stuff planned in April. I don't know if you guys are checking the date. But April is just around the corner, so this is gigantic bait. So save your chrono crystals. Do not summon on this thing. Odds are it's going to be around here for like a couple weeks anyway, so we'll get some info on what to expect next. But April, something exciting is probably going to happen. And I think the only other thing we got in this update outside of the summon and Rosé is a potential PvP message and a Universe Survival Saga equip. I think it buffs up strike defense, special move, and max HP for like 10% special move, 8% max HP, 50% strike defense. A pretty just overall decent equip. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I am not overly impressed with the Zenkai Awakening, but I could be full of it. Maybe once he's on his teams with some of the other guys, he can look impressive. But this is... it just doesn't speak impressive to me. I'm going to be honest. But this is just my initial opinion from first glance. Let me know in the comments section below how you guys feel. Do you feel that he's a very impressive unit? Do you feel they did him justice with this? Or do you think that he deserved better? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. But until next time, guys, be on the lookout for the showcase once that's available. And I'll see you guys then. Take care of yourselves.